Andy, the manager says you've been doing the analysis of the game for the weekend. Players don't always like analysis. I imagine today was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It's been a fantastic couple of weeks for the football club, and none more so than yesterday. It's certainly the best moment of my career. And quite a lot of people wrote us off going into the game. There was quite a lot of talk about a gap between the two clubs, but I think yesterday we showed if there is a gap, it's certainly not too big. And I thought we were outstanding yesterday. To a man, everyone stood up, performed, and I thought it was a complete dominant display by Rangers yesterday.
Did you surprise yourselves at all yesterday?
No, because like I said, complete belief in our ability, and I think the important thing for us going into the game yesterday is just do what we do and do what we do best, and that's keep a hold of the football and try and penetrate in dangerous areas. And like I said, there's arguably been better Rangers teams in the past and better Rangers players in the past, but I don't think I've seen a composed and settled display for a Rangers team for a long time, and I thought, well, like I said, fully deserved the victory.
I know much is made of the fact that you were a supporter as a boy, and it's something you're asked time and time again, but particularly with this fixture and what was riding on it, what was said around it, how did you find the experience and what was it like to be part of that?
I try to tap into a lot of knowledge for people who have played Old Firm games in the past and try and take as much advice as I can, but I don't think anything can really prepare you for it. But it was something I was really proud of from everyone, and obviously myself as well, that we stayed very composed and we just done what we've done best. We stuck to our game plan and our style of play, which we've done all season, and like I said, it was a very composed and assured display from everyone yesterday, and like I said, the emotions were kept intact.
A lot of people have had a debate about what Rangers would do next season, whether you could challenge Celtic, where you would be, where you would finish in the table. What's your view on it now? Do you expect Rangers to challenge for the title first season back?
Of course, I said that a couple of weeks ago, and it's no disrespect to anyone else. Like, we'll never settle for second. I'm sure Celtic are the same. I'm sure Aberdeen are the same. I'm sure Hearts are the same. But when we're in the SPL next year, we're going to challenge for the title. It's as simple as that. And people ask me about markers and stuff like that. I don't think yesterday was a marker for next season at all, because I think we've been better and better since day one. I still think we're going to get better. But like I said, I think that teams are going to realise the competition is going to be a lot stronger for the title next year. So I'm sure Celtic, Aberdeen, Hearts, I think they're all in the same bracket, and everyone's just going to get better for next year.
You said you spoke to guys who played Old Firms before. Can you give us a sort of insight who you spoke to and what they sort of told you?
First and foremost, I obviously spoke to Ian Durante's round about the club. I spoke to Dave Weir, both played a lot of Old Firm games, Kenny Miller, Lee Wallace, and I listened to people like John Brown, who's obviously doing Rangers TV and stuff like that, and I mean all their advice is it's what you want to hear, but like I said, you can't really prepare yourself. It was, like I said, it was my first one yesterday, and it was a great start, so it was a massive occasion, and like I said, probably the best day I've ever had in a football park.
Was it everything you expected out of an Old Firm game?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was certainly noisy. It's a fixture we've all missed, for the last 4 or 5 years, and I think I read last night it was the most watched live sports event since the Super Bowl, and that just shows the worldwide spectacle it attracts, and it was good to have it back.
How did it feel walking out that tunnel as a Rangers player rather than sitting in the stands watching it?
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. I talked about last week how I was actually quite nervous going up to take a penalty against Peterhead in the Pressure Pack final. We were 2-0 up, but yesterday I felt really calm, felt composed within myself, and like I said, it's always going to be quite hard because it's that fear of losing. Sometimes it's hard to enjoy the game, but I really enjoyed the game yesterday.
Were you surprised how much control you had of the midfield battle?
Listen, Celtic have got top class players. Scott Brown's the captain of our national team, had a wonderful career, but like I said, we're confident in our own ability. That's our game, that's our style of play, to try and keep a hold of the football and try to dominate possession, and we managed to do that yesterday.
With the way you feel about this club and obviously that fixture, did you have to tell yourself not to get carried away and get caught up in all the hype and emotion?
To be honest, I was never worried about it. I knew, listen, I've had 2 red cards in my full career, both of them were arguably quite debatable, so I was never under any illusion that I couldn't control my emotions, and I was happy I stayed composed throughout the game.
The manager just said that as far as he's concerned, there is still a gap regardless whatever size that is. Is that hard to understand after yesterday with the way you controlled the game, or do you still accept that there is?
Well, Celtic were going into the game favourites, and rightly so. They're top of the SPL, and if there is a gap, it certainly didn't look that big yesterday, but like I said, it's a one-off cup game. Anything can happen. We see cup shocks all over the world. Listen, I don't think it was a massive shock yesterday. We were confident enough in our own ability to go and get the result, but like I said, if there is a gap, I don't think it's that big.
We saw the manager celebrating after the penalty shootout. It was quite a different sort of sight to when we usually get. It's usually quite calm, collected, methodical. What's he like with you guys in the dressing room? What type of character is he with you? Is he arm around the shoulder, or is he standoffish and sort of let yourselves look after yourselves in the dressing room?
I mean, one thing I will say about the gaffer is he's certainly a calming influence, but he puts so much belief into his players, and he just gives you that extra 5-10%, and it's all credit to him and the staff and everyone in the background over the progression we've had in the last 12 months. And people keep saying about how the journey's ended and we're back in the SPL, but really it's just beginning, and we're going to try and go for a treble now, and hopefully in Europe we win the game. But we've got a very tough game in Hibs. They've had a fantastic season themselves. They got to the League Cup final, now they're in the Scottish Cup final, and they're still challenging for promotion. So I think Hibs are a team that haven't got enough credit as how well they've done this season.
What sort of demeanour does he have in the dressing room? Is he one of the lads, or does he try and keep him with this?
He's a bit of everything. He's calming, but he's strict in the right areas. He's brought discipline to the club, but like I said, he's the belief he brings in his players, and like you said, we're all fighting for him out there. We're all fighting for the rest of the boys, and when you're out in the pitch, you look left and right. You're going to fight for each other. And, we've got a style of play, but like we said, we've got the character to stand up to anything yesterday, and it was showed.
Is he a contender for manager of the year?
He's got to be a contender, that's for sure. I think when you look in the Championship, the gaffer and obviously Stubbs and Peter Houston, it was the three managers have had 3 great seasons and great influences on their team. So it's hard for me to pick one. Obviously, seen first of hand how well he's done here, he's obviously, he would have got my vote anyway.
The game against Hibernian is your first league game since you were confirmed as champions. Would you expect to be given a guard of honour?
I'm not sure. Obviously, that's up to Hibs. I'd like to think so. It's obviously it's been part and parcel of football for a long time, but it's up to them. It's certainly no hard feelings if they don't. It's completely up to them. How
does this game impact upon the cup final? Because it probably give it a little bit of extra spice, particularly perhaps from Rangers' point of view, who don't have quite as much riding on it in the league as Hibernian do.
I don't think it does, because, like I said, anything can happen in a cup game, and Hibs are a good team, we're a good team, and there's so much at stake. So it's really whoever turns up on the day wins the game, and obviously wins the cup. And I don't think that's got any bearing on how Wednesday's going to pan out.
You said last week you had a few friends and family that were getting tickets off you. I take it you were a popular man last night?
The people that I managed to let down for the tickets, I'm sure they were made up for it anyway.
What was your phone like at the end of it? How many texts, tweets, emails, messages, voicemails did you have in the time you got up and switched it on after the game?
It was quite lively. I'm sure the rest of the boys were the same. It's for quite a lot of us out there, it was our first Old Firm game, and listen, there's no better feeling than winning, that's for sure.
Was it quite difficult to sleep last night? Was the adrenaline still pumping a bit?
I slept like a baby, to be honest. I'm usually quite a late bedder, but I was in bed for 9:30 last night.
How did English boys deal with it? Many of them wouldn't have even sampled Old Firm game, never been to one. How was it for their first taste walking out at Hampden? I'm sure it never took them long as soon as they signed for this club to realise how big that game is, and like I said, that's why I was so proud of the boys yesterday, because it's so easy to get caught up on it and sort of let the game pass you by and not really enjoy it. But I think the boys just stayed composed and done what we've done best throughout the game, and like I said, it was very enjoyable, because we've won the game, but like I said, we stuck to our game plan and we've done it well.